Today is the big day for canyoning, which is the first major activity of this week.
Alright, today we're going canyoning, yay!
The ride down to Sleeping Gods Canyon is a bit of an adventure in itself because you're going down this gravel road with loads of potholes. We're introduced to the rest of the people canyoning with us today. So there's Matt, Jess, Martin and Oscar. We get into somewhere deep in the forest and there's a little shed with lots of wetsuits and equipment ready for us. So we all suit up, put our wetsuits in packs.
Now I don't know how that worked out, but Laura ended up carrying the gears of like 3 people, and there were one girl that literally didn't have a bag.
How's it going, Laura?
Awesome.
You ready to swim?
Yeah.
For those that don't know what it is, so canyoning starts by carrying a lot of gears up the mountain and then going down the mountain following the canyon created by the river.
But first we need to cross a river, which T, who is leading the group, she has a look at the river and she says, there's usually some stepping stones across here, but obviously it's just river rapids, so, but you know, that doesn't stop us. We still all link arms and make our way across.
The current was actually incredibly high. I mean, looking back at the pictures, it just looked like we were in a half-knee deep water and like beaching like the babies. But honestly, the current was really strong, and the water, because of a few muddy landslides during the night, was very muddy, so you couldn't see where you were stepping. So you had no idea if you were stepping on a stable rock or in a hole or this and that. So that was quite fun. Quite a few people kind of half fall in the water, and that was cool.
She's like, oh, I'm not sure about this. I'm gonna go back and see Wayne, who is meant to be meeting us later in the track, because the water level is much higher than they anticipated. So she just, you know, basically skips back across the river, really putting us to shame that we all had to link arms, and she's like a, you know, small woman just skips her way across, while Wayne just basically wades through the rapids like it's nothing, and he's carrying like 2 massive backpacks. And he's just like proper hench and like wading across the river like the river was his bitch. They come back and say to us that it is too dangerous to canyon today, but they were happy to give everyone a full refund, but they still wanted to take us up to the valley entrance anyway if we wanted to. It was up to us what we wanted to do, and which was really amazing, like actually how much time they spend with us today and still giving us a refund because we can't do the full canyoning. We find out later that, yeah, we end up doing a lot today anyway, so it was still an adventure in itself. So our alternative option is to hike up the Billy Goat track up to the Sleeping Gods Canyon entrance.
Started hiking up through thick rainforest, a lot of mud. It was pretty intense mud-wise, yeah, but it was really cool.
there's random railway lines coming down the hill, so that made some cool like photo opportunities. And along the way there's loads of openings for views of waterfalls, and T and Wayne are showing us like, oh, here, this is the waterfall we would be abseiling down, and it looks really amazing. We would love to come back another time and do the whole canyoning. T and Wayne show us a plant which is meant to be very good if you have diarrhea, and it will, you know, bung up your system. Robin decides that it would be a good idea to try this. He was pretty excited. He was like, oh my god, yeah, I want to try some. So Robin eats the diarrhea plant, and the taste is too much for his delicate French palate to handle.
Does not taste good. That's all I have to say.
We finally reached the top of the Billy Goat track. There's a river.
And then Wayne and T says, you know what, the water level is kind of all right. Let's go down, let's go check out a few waterfalls.
We start to do a bit of a river scramble, and all of a sudden the river just drops into a cascade of different waterfalls, and everyone just gets all giddy like they're kids, like, oh my god, I can't wait to scramble down there. Wayne and T sort of help us across all the like river rapids, but there's a lot of stuff we can just do ourselves, so yeah, and it's really cool. And when we get to the entrance of the canyon, there's like a ledge, like where the waterfall just drops, and we all decide to get a photo at the end of the ledge. And so we scramble our way back up the river, which is just as fun. It's just as much of a scramble up the waterfall is as fun as coming back down it again. And we just get to the river, and T and Wayne suggest that we have some lunch, and T has made some really nice sandwiches. They're like, these are sandwiches with 3 slices of bread in what Ross from Friends would call the moist maker.
It's time to get home. We grab the bag back and start, you know, going back downhill.
And then we made our way back down the same track, which is easier on the lungs, but a bit harder on the joints, but oh well, it was fun.
And yeah, it's easy, fun. I mean, honestly, I cannot believe those guys gave us our money back.
But the day is not over yet, because we still need to drive from Thames to Coromandel, which proves to be like, yeah, maybe about an hour and a half drive along the Pacific Coast Highway, which is so super scenic.
So Coromandel town is the last town in the northern part of Coromandel. Then the rest is all bush.
Like, let's stop at some beaches so I can take some pictures of the pretty sunset. And as it gets dark, we rock up to the Coromandel Top 10 holiday park.